Okay, guys, welcome back to World of Kings. I've been searching YouTube for some tutorials on how to reforge your artifact, and I haven't found any good ones at all. So I figured I'd take a moment and show you some of the basics to reforging your artifact. In 4.0, things are a lot different. The Flona's essences are much easier to farm. You can get about 110, 125 a week. I found that it's best to save your essences for a total of 3 weeks. This way you have about 300 to 350 essences to reforge your artifact. The artifacts are divided up into several different categories. See if I can mark them here. Okay. The first 4 artifacts here, these are lower ones, and it doesn't really matter what you get the first time you roll. They're not going to increase your damage by that much. Some of the older, or some of the later artifacts, particularly the 2 at the bottom. Let's see here. These 2 at the bottom here. These 2 here are what you should try to farm for first. Let's see if I can give you an idea how this works. So you get 1 point in Ignite, which is the bottom talent in the Combat Master tree. Your goal is to get at least 2. I've never seen anybody with a +4 in Ignite or in Opportunity Attack. But this is what you have to shoot for. So you have to exchange all the crystals you have for the ones at the bottom, these 2 here. You don't get as many rolls whenever you exchange them. So you want to try to get between 20 and 30 rolls for each of the bottom 2 artifacts. Once you have gotten a +1 or a +2 in Ignite or in Opportunity Attack, then you can go back and work at the bottom of it again, at the bottom of your artifacts. These ones are important. They're just not as important as the ones at the bottom. Also, some of the center, I'm not sure what row that is, but Dying Strike and Well Trained also are very good for increasing damage and healing, in the case at least for Dying Strike. Actually, and Well Trained also. Any kind of damage also increases healing. For healers, actually just casters in general, you want to have as many of the chanting as you possibly can get. It reduces the casting time of a lot of different spells. Usually every DPS and healing class has at least 1 charged spell. Except for Akron. I don't believe they have any charged spells. No, they're all instant casts. Okay, so to recap, to reforge your artifact properly, you need to do the 2 at the bottom first. It usually takes about 3 weeks of farming the essences to get at least a +1. It takes about 6 to 9 weeks to do +2. So these 2 at the bottom, Harmos and Brekka essences, is what you have to farm for. Also, the other 2 from the bottom, they're also important because they increase damage at the next to the last tier. I'm not sure what I have in mind, but let's see here. Yeah, these are not the greatest. Anyway, I hope that helps you out some. Thanks for watching. Okay, to reroll any of them, your goal is to get a +2 in the bottom stat. So as you can see, there's 2 levels here. The top level is here. and then the bottom level is at the bottom, down in here. Whenever you're first rolling, your priority is to get a +2 in the bottom on all 6 or 7 artifacts that there are. Then, after you have done that, after you've gotten the +2, you can go back later and try to get something better in these. But you need to have +2 in all of the bottom ones. Let's see, I'll try to do a few of them here. So I want to try to get something better than a +1 in Vicious. Okay, I got Mana Torrent. That's not as much for a tank, so I'm going to keep rolling. And this one is Iron Skin or Elusiveness. I don't have any of these. If they don't have this, the talent point configured in it, you'll get a message that says, Demon's Kid Iron does not put the talent point in the following activation and cannot take effect. So this one would be totally worthless to me. This one, Field Doctor. This is in the strategist column. It's really good at negating crit damage. So, or no, not crit damage. It says here, resilience, resistance, and resilience rating. Okay, so resilience. It takes away the likelihood of them to crit, so their crit rate. So I'm going to keep this one here. Actually, I'm not going to keep it, but that's what you're aiming for, is the +2 in the bottom section of it down there. And you need that on every one of the artifacts. A +2 in the bottom tier. He has opportunity attack, which is not as good for tanks, I have found. The Merciless seems to do quite a bit more damage than the opportunity attack does for tanks. Well, welcome back to World of Kings. I want to take a few moments to show you how to properly farm for essences and reforge your artifact to increase damage and healing. Also, the first thing that's really important is that you have all of them unlocked. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see here. 5, 6. There's 7 of them. So you need to have all 7 of these unlocked. They have made it much cheaper to unlock the first 4 or 5 of them. They don't cost but crown now. They used to cost 30 gold a pop for each component of the artifact. Just looking at the talents I have here, this is for healing on an Archon class. The chanting is important more for casters that have a charged spell, like a Frost Whisperer or a Bard or a Necromancer or a Vampire. I don't know how important they are really for characters that have all instant casts. They do make you attack faster, but chanting is very important for any casting class. This Vicious +2 right here, this is, let's see, it says, gives you 60% chance to increase your attack speed. This is more for a melee class, so like a Gladiator or a Vanguard or a Paladin of any kind. It'll increase your attack speed. Energy, I found this is not as important anymore. It used to be way more important in 1.0 and maybe a little bit in 2.0, but I've never seen any healer or a DPS class run out of mana ever anymore. Rogues and bards do run out of energy, but it's usually easily refilled. This Holy Vigor is really in the strategist's category. It's only for healers. Somebody told me I should get that because it increases your rank on the healing meter, because you affect that target by 15% temporary health for 10 seconds. It's really good for saints because they cast a rain of healing on 5 or 6 targets at one time, and they can just do that over and over and over again. So they're increasing the health of a lot of players by 15% every time they cast it. Tactical plan, this isn't good for my class, but it is good for some other classes. Force release is good for any damage class, because whenever your energy gets low or your rage gets low or high, it's at the top end or the bottom, it increases the amount of damage you do. It also gives a huge rating boost for as many of the force releases as you can get. When it comes to reforging the artifact, the important ones are on the bottom two artifacts. It's Harma and Brekka. Ignite and opportunity attack. These are the ones that increase your damage the most. Also, below the bottom one is a bottom tier. This one on the bottom right is really for anytime you kill a target, you increase your attack by 5%. Well trained increases your damage by 5%, so that's like 25% until you get hit. So this one is a double-edged sword. Dying Strike, it increases damage and healing by 25% when you have 5 points in it. However, it makes you take increased damage by about 18%. So this one is really good. But if you have low HP, I would not go for Dying Strike because it can kill you in some of the end raids. Some of them are a little bit more difficult. To farm essences, all you have to do is run Overlords. Overlord 1 and 2 are double rewards here, so they're ×2, and they give you essences for doing all of the Overlords that you're able to clear in a week. Also, there's other ways to get essences and the daily quests underneath the invasion event. Let's see, where's invasion at? Invasion. These little presents down here at the bottom, 2 or 3 of them have essences that pop from them. Also, you get essences from the loot box that is out in that newer area. I think you can only do that once or twice a week. I think it's just once a week. But it gives essences and feathers and booklets and things for your mastery. Oh, they gave me booklets of mastery that time. So that one does not give essences. Also, your... What's the other one here? Guilds. Also, you can buy essences from several of the shops. If you PvP a lot, you can buy essences from the Compete tab. You can farm about 120, 125 of these a week. With tanking, things are a little different when it comes to increasing damage. Tanks also heal quite a bit. They heal themselves. And if you choose the Tier 2 set bonus for Vanguard and Gladiator anyway, this skill here, Shield Barrier, heals the group a small amount. I've seen a couple of dungeons be ran with 5 different tanks, and the Shield Barrier keeps everybody alive. They just keep switching aggro and healing up. To reforge for the warriors, damage that I have found is usually at the bottom of the tree and merciless. So you want to try to get 2 or 3 points in there. It's a lot less roll, so you need to save your essences for a few weeks in order to be able to successfully roll it. I did go 6 weeks without not one merciless rolling, so it all depends on your luck too. But you need to have a better chance by having more attempts to roll.